Hey guys, Sage Topaz here. I hope everyone is having an amazing day and staying safe. I'm having an amazing day today, thank God. It's cloudy outside. It looks like it's about to rain, but we'll see what happens. Whether it rains or not, it doesn't matter. It's still been an amazing day, and I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you guys are having a relaxing, great day. And even if your day is not going so great, hopefully this video puts a smile on your face. Before I even talk about what the video is about, I'm gonna do a little commercial. I write children's books. I write and illustrate kids' books. So if you are looking for a good book for your children, please check out the link. I'm going to put a link in the description. I have different books for children like Hilly Wants to Roar, Blake Does Not Like His Stripes, and Ya, which is based on Ya Asantewa, the true story of the Ashanti queen, Ya Asantewa, who fought and defended her kingdom and her people. So it's summertime and it is very important for your kids to read. You don't have to read a book every single day, but it's very important for your kids to read books because it continues to improve their academic skills. Studies have shown that if kids don't read during the summer, it actually declines their academic skills. So if you're looking for a good book, please check out my books. Again, I'm gonna put a link in the description. You can check it out. If you don't like it, you can always return it. I have my books available on Kindle and paperback. And like I said, I illustrate and write my own books. My illustrations are very colorful. I feel that my characters are very cute. Hilly and Blake are just very adorable. They're very cute. And yeah, my books teach life lessons for kids and they're very fun to read. And yeah, so please check it out. That is my commercial. Moving on. So this video, I'm going to be talking about Disney movies that made me cry. So the Disney movies that I'm going to be talking about are actually Disney 2D animated movies. I grew up watching Disney 2D animated movies. Disney 3D animated movies are good too, but I realize I prefer the 2D animated movies because I grew up watching them. I just prefer them. And I think I've watched a lot more Disney 2D animated movies than the 3D ones. I watched Frozen and Frozen 2, which were amazing. I loved Encanto. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've watched a lot of Disney 3D movies, but the 2D movies, man, I can name so many Disney 3D movies, 2D movies I've watched. Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, The Little Mermaid, a Goofy movie, an extremely Goofy movie, The Rescuers Down Under. I love Disney 2D animated movies. Pocahontas, Snow White. Yeah, so I grew up watching those movies. So those are the animated movies that I'm going to be focusing on today. I'm just going to talk about the 2D animated movies of Disney that made me cry. Spoiler alert, there are spoilers in this video, so if you have not seen any of these movies, or if you don't want any spoilers, please turn off this video right now. You don't have to watch it because I do not want to ruin any of these movies for you, okay? So without further ado, let's go. So the first movie is The Fox and the Hound. The Fox and the Hound was made in 1981. I watched that movie when I was little, and to this day, every time I watch this movie makes me not just cry. I'm talking like bawl. Like I'm crying. I'm like just wiping the tears off my face because it is just such a sad movie and it's such a beautifully made sad movie. So what the movie's about is about this fox called Todd, and he lives in the forest with his mom, and his mom gets killed. So this poor fox is all alone, and this sweet old lady, she adopts Todd as her own pet, and she looks after him, she feeds him, she just shows him so much love. She's just such a sweet lady. So Todd is a fox, but he's basically like a house pet, you know what I mean? So Todd ends up meeting Copper, and Copper is a puppy who lives next door. Now, Copper and Todd, they meet each other and they become best friends. They love each other. They become like brothers. And they're like, oh, we're always going to be best friends, right? And they're like, yes, we're always going to be best friends. So unfortunately, Copper's owner is a hunter. And the guy is a complete jerk. Like, he's just a jerk. Todd's owner, the lady, is very sweet, but Copper's owner is just a complete jerk. He's just a mean-spirited guy. He does not like Todd. He always threatens to hurt Todd and so over time, as Copper is growing up, the hunter is trying to, train him to become a hunting dog. So over time, Copper and Todd, they kind of break apart, which is really sad because you can tell that unfortunately, Copper really doesn't have a choice. He has to, his owner is trying to make him into a hunting dog. So unfortunately, he cannot be friends with Todd. So that's really sad on its own because these two are like brothers. And unfortunately, because, Copper has this owner that's teaching him how to hunt animals like Todd, he had to stop being friends with Todd. What was also really sad about The Fox and the Hound, and a scene that really made me cry, was when Todd's owner, the old lady, took Todd to the forest. So, Copper's owner, like I said, was a complete jerk, and he was threatening to hurt Todd. And the lady, Todd's owner, she loved Todd and she didn't want Todd to get hurt. She didn't want Copper's owner to hurt Todd. So, this is making me, it's really sad. I'm just thinking about it. So Todd's owner, she drives him into the forest and she tells him that, he has to go. And that scene is so sad because Todd is like confused, like, yo, why are you dropping me off? And like, she's crying and she's just like, she didn't want to do it, but she had to because she had to protect Todd. And honestly, that scene is so sad. And even when she's just like driving away and Todd is just like looking at her drive away, man, that scene was really sad. So, so Todd goes into the forest and he's really sad because he misses his adopted human mom. But when he goes into the forest, he learns to adapt to the forest and he meets this beautiful fox and they fall in love and, they get together. So it's, it's all good. Todd is leading a separate life. Copper is leading a separate life. He's grown up to become, this hunting dog. And then another really sad moment in the movie was when Todd and Copper meet up again. So Copper's owner goes into the forest and he's hunting. And then him and Copper and Todd, they end up like, fighting each other. So at one point, the hunter is basically, about to shoot Todd. And then Copper steps in. So he steps in between his owner and Todd. And then the owner's like, what are you doing? Get out of the way so I can shoot the fox. And then Copper just kind of looks like his owner like, please don't do this. Please don't do this. So the owner, even though, he was a mean-spirited guy, like Copper, literally, he like begged. He was like, he whimpered. And the owner just couldn't do it. So he dropped his gun and he decided not to shoot Todd. So that scene just made me really sad because even though they grew up and, they became distant, Copper still loved Todd. He really, really still loved Todd. So it was really sad because, these guys grew up like brothers, but because they came from different worlds, they couldn't be friends. So, yeah. And I'm getting very, it's really sad. So to this day, this is one of the movies that makes me cry. And I can't believe I'm getting emotional thinking about it. So yeah, Fox and the Hound, definitely one of the greatest Disney movies in my opinion. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. It's just such a beautiful movie about friendship. And it was really sad. Whew, okay, moving on. I don't know how I'm going to get through this video. Okay, Dumbo. So Dumbo was made in 1941. Dumbo is also a movie that makes me cry because that poor Dumbo, I mean, he just went through a lot, okay? Like, he had big ears and he was made fun of because of his big ears, and like bullying and teasing, seeing people get hurt and being made fun of because they're different, that's really sad. So, Dumbo, he goes through so many obstacles in this movie. His mom gets locked up, and the scene in Dumbo that made me cry as growing up and still makes me cry to this day is when the mom is locked up, and obviously they can't be with each other, and then Dumbo's mom gets her trunk and she basically uses her trunk to carry Dumbo and comfort him. So that was really sad. Like, I'm not gonna lie, man, that scene makes me tear up, man. Like, oh, it was just so sad. Like, oh man. So yeah, Dumbo, eventually he learns how to fly and he's able to save his mom, and everything works out at the end. But the things that poor little elephant went through was really sad. The way those people made fun of him was sad. And that scene where his mom was trying to comfort him with her trunk was really sad too. So yeah. Okay, moving on. The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Hunchback of Notre Dame was made in 1996, and it is one of the greatest Disney movies ever, in my opinion. And it's so funny because when I was a kid, I hated The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like, I hated that movie. I thought it was so boring. And then I decided to watch it as an adult. And I thought it was a masterpiece. Like, I guess now as an adult, I understand it more. I understand the themes. It's talking about like, racism and I guess classism, the hypocrisy of some, religious leaders. Yeah, it was such a fantastic movie, and it definitely did make me cry. I mean, that Frollo guy was such an evil person. He was so horrible. Again, spoilers. But yeah, so Frollo, the basically the story of the Hunchback of Notre Dame is this what was it, a Catholic priest or deacon, Frollo. He first of all, he was complete racist to the gypsies, and he absolutely hated them. He was responsible for killing Quasimodo's mom, and he also wanted to kill Quasimodo because Quasimodo was deformed, and he wanted to drown him. But he decided to raise him on his own. And the way he treated Quasimodo, he completely dehumanized him. He made him feel like he was nothing. He reminded him every single day how he was ugly, how he was worthless, how he needed to stay in the tower and, ringing the bells because, he was too ugly to be seen by other people. So Quasimodo just grew up all alone and thinking that he was nothing. So yeah, but he ends up meeting Esmeralda. Also, the scene where Quasimodo, he leaves the church and there's this parade. And then the people on the streets start making fun of him and laughing at him and calling him ugly. That was, ooh, wow, sorry. That was really sad. That scene, definitely broke my heart. But at the end of the day, at the end of the movie, people realize that Quasimodo is a human being and he is worthy of love and he is awesome. Also, another scene that not only just made me cry, but just kind of gave me kind of more of goosebumps was when Quasimodo saved Esmeralda, because Frollo, again, was such an evil, horrible piece of crap. And he tried to kill Esmeralda. So when Esmeralda was about to be burned, Quasimodo rescued her, and then he took her to the top of the church. He raised her up and he screamed, "Sanctuary! Sanctuary!" Like, yo, that scene gives me goosebumps. I love that scene. So powerful. Also, another scene that made me cry was, Quasimodo had a crush on Esmeralda because, she was gorgeous. And not only was she beautiful, but she also had a good heart. And she liked Quasimodo. She saw Quasimodo as a human being, But Esmeralda fell in love with, what's his name? Phoebus? you know, the white guy who was the soldier. Yeah, so they fell in love. So when Quasimodo saw them together, he was heartbroken. So that was really sad. I felt bad for him. So yeah, at the end of the day, Frollo is, you know, he ends up being defeated. He ends up being killed, which he totally deserved. And at the end of the day, like I said, Quasimodo, he leaves, he goes and he leads a normal life, and he lives happily ever after. So that made me happy. So the movie was sad, just seeing what Quasimodo was going through and just seeing how Frollo just treated him like he was nothing was really sad. But at the end of the day, everything worked out, and it just shows that no matter how difficult life is, or if people call you worthless and make you feel like you're nothing, you are worthy, you know, like God has made everyone in his own image, and everyone is beautiful and worthy. And if anyone makes you feel less than, they are not worth your time. And just know that you're awesome. So yeah, that was another movie that made me cry. Okay, so moving on, The Lion King, 1994. The Lion King is also another amazing Disney movie. And funny enough, when I was a kid, the scene where Mufasa dies, it actually didn't make me cry when I was a kid, but it made me cry when I was an adult. Like watching it now, it makes me cry. I don't know why. But man, yeah, just that scene where Scar betrays Mufasa, and then before he like throws him off the cliff to his death in that stampede, he's like, "Long live the king." That scene makes me so sad because that was his brother. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, man, that is so messed up. Like, just the look of just shock on Mufasa's face, almost kind of like, dang, like, you're my brother. Like, how can my own brother do this to me, you know? So that was really sad. And not only did that scene of Mufasa dying make me sad, but just seeing Simba and him just like trying to wake up his dad. Oh God, that was so sad. He was trying so hard to get his dad to wake up, and then he realizes that his dad is dead. And then not only is that bad enough, but that Scar comes up to Simba and says, "Oh, it's your fault that your dad died." Like, what kind of an evil piece of crap is that guy? Okay, so poor Simba, poor little guy, he feels it's his fault, and then Scar tells him to run away and never return. And you know, Simba believes him and he feels so guilty and he runs away. And Scar sends his hyenas to go and chase Simba, to go and kill him. Like, So yeah, that scene was really sad, man. Like that whole, oh man. And even before Mufasa died, man, just the fact that he risked his life, like he knew there was a stampede and he knew that he was gonna die, that he could die. But the fact that he didn't care and he basically went into that stampede to save his son is just so touching, because parents would do anything for their babies. So just seeing him just risk his life without even a second thought to save his child. Oh, man. Lion King was such a great movie. And of course, you know, if you watch The Lion King, everything worked out at the end. Scar died, okay, which he deserved. And Simba went back to his kingdom and he got his rightful place as king. So yeah, so that's another movie that made me cry. And the last movie on this list, actually, before I continue the last movie, I wanted to give out a shout out to Bambi, because I have not watched Bambi. For some reason, I have not watched Bambi, but I know that Bambi has made a lot of people cry, because apparently Bambi's mom got killed, and that made a lot of people cry. I mean, I've heard people say like it traumatized them as a kid. So yeah, for some reason I have not watched Bambi, so that's why I'm not including it on this list, because I haven't watched it. But yeah. Okay, so the last movie on this list is 101 Dalmatians, which was made in 1961. Yes, that movie definitely made me cry as a kid, and it makes me tear up now, because seriously, Cruella de Vil, what the heck is wrong with you, okay? Like, this Cruella wants to kill these puppies to make fur coats. Like, what is wrong with you? So the fact that she terrorized this family and terrorized these puppies and just to try and kill them, that's awful, okay? And that made me sad. Another part of the movie that was also kind of sad was when the puppies were born, and one of the puppies, they thought that the puppy was dead. and they were like, oh no, the puppy's dead. That was so sad. And then they kind of like they rubbed him until he woke up, and then they named him Lucky because they thought that he was dead, but he was able to survive. And yeah, I think he was a runt, but yeah, so that's, so kind of made me sad as well. But when Lucky ended up surviving, that was really awesome. So yeah, so that is my list of Disney movies that made me cry, man. Whew, boy, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely did tear up during this video because I was just thinking of the movies and just seeing those scenes again, and oh man, give me a second. Okay, so yeah, man, so those were some Disney movies that made me cry. Pinocchio, I'm just gonna also talk about Pinocchio real quick. It did not make me cry, but I have to say, man, Pinocchio was a lot. Pinocchio, I do not like Pinocchio. Just watching it as a grown-up, like when I was a kid, I didn't really like Pinocchio because there was just so many bad things happening to that poor puppet, and he just went through so much. I mean, he was kidnapped. He went to this island where kids were turning into donkeys and then sold. Like, as a grown-up watching that, it's just like, that is really disturbing. Like, Pinocchio to me is like a horror movie. It really is. Like, this poor puppet, like, he went through a lot. So it didn't make me cry. Pinocchio did not make me cry, but it definitely did disturb me as a child. And even as an adult, Pinocchio still bothers the heck out of me. Like, that movie, like I said, I feel Pinocchio is a horror movie. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so that's my list. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my list. And again, please check out my books. They're for sale and they're available on Kindle and paperback. And oh, the sun is out. Okay, so it didn't end up raining after all. Awesome. Okay, so again, thank you for watching and have an amazing day. Bye.